This is how our app is going to look like. We can add a node, and also we can open this node, we can update it, or even we can delete the node.
Instructors at CRUD would really appreciate if you subscribe to our channel, which inspires us to create more tutorials in programming.
This is the starting project for our app. Here we have some files and folders, like the common folder and also the features, and here we have a welcome page. And of course, you do not need to worry about these files and folders for right now, because I'm going to talk about all of them throughout this project. But keep in mind, if you want to continue with this video, you must install your Firebase setup. And also inside your pubspec.yaml file, you have to install these 3 packages. So if you are done, you can continue with this video. This is our first page, which is a welcome page, and you can see the UI here. And in this page, I'm gonna do the authentication first. And the authentication method that I'm gonna use in this course will be the sign in anonymously. And of course, you can do the other sign-in methods like Google sign-in, which I have already created a video about it, but I'm gonna not use it, and in this video, I will use the anonymous sign-in. So the first thing, I will change this stateless widget into a stateful widget. And now I can create a method here, and I will call it sign in anonymously. And here I have to make an instance of Firebase auth, and then I will import it. And I will use the sign in anonymously method, and I have to just use this sign in anonymously into here, and I have to wrap this column with a gesture detector. And here on the on top property, I can call sign in anonymously. And when I hot reload the code, I can do the sign in method. So when we click here, you will see that nothing will happen, and the reason is this, that we have not set it up in the main.dart. So if we do the sign in right now, nothing will happen. So let's go to the main.dart, and here in the home property, right now the home property is just a simple welcome page, and here I just want to use a stream builder. We have this, and here I say if the snapshot dot has data, if snapshot dot has data is null, it is the reverse. So in this case, I will just return a welcome page. Else if snapshot dot data, I mean snapshot dot connection state is equal to connection state dot done. If this is the case, in this case it means that Firebase auth is done, so we need to return the home page where we show our nodes, and also the default will be a home page, so I will return the home page. Yeah, and in this stream builder, the stream property will be the Firebase auth, and we use the method of auth state changes, so it will automatically show for us that whether the user has signed in or not. So all we did here, we just use an stream builder, and the stream is just this auth state changes. It is a method which is especially used to see if the user has signed in or not. And if snapshot.hasn't data, it means that we haven't signed in yet. I will show a welcome page. And if we have data and it is done, so in this case we need to show the main home page. I will save the code, and here when I sign in, it will be directed to the main home page, and here we can show all our nodes. Now let's work on the functionality of adding nodes into the Firestore. When I click this button in the home page, I should be directed to the add node screen. We have already created this page here, the add node screen. So I go to the home page, and Here we should have a floating action button, and this is our floating action button. And in the onPressed, when we click this, I have to make a navigation to the Add Node Screen page. And here, when I click this floating action button, I will be navigated to this page. And here we have two text fields, a title, and also here for a description. Also, I need to create here a widget around the button, which when I want to save my node, so I have to create in the library, I will create a folder, the name of widgets, and the first widget will be around button. Let's import the material package. And here I have an status widget, and I will call it around button, which I can use it throughout my project. And here I will have a container, and this container will have a decoration of box decoration. It has a color of colors.gray, and also border radius. A border radius of circular, and I will give it 8. And the child will be a text button. It has an onPressed, which is empty for now, and also the child. So here I can create two constructors, because we don't want to give the value of onPressed and also the child here, and we will give it and the constructor. So I will say final string text, and also final wait callback, which is a function and I will call it onPressed. And I then just need to create a constructor for it, and the child will be text and the function will be onPressed. What is wrong with this? Yeah, here I need to create a text, and inside it this constructor, and I will put a const here. So everything is done. Now I can use this round button inside my project. So I'll go to the add node page, and after here the flexible, I can use this round button, and the text will be save, and the onPressed. Now let's see how it looks. Yeah, it looks good. I just need to give it a padding. And the top will be a padding of 15. So now let's hot roll the code. It really looks good. So the functionality will be that here we have a title, we have a description, and when I just save the code, it should be saved to the Firestore. So for this means I will create in the library a node repository folder, node repository, and here I will create a file, node repository .dart. So I will create all the methods and the functionality of adding nodes or updating or deleting. So I will add all this functionality here. So I need to create a class, the name of node repository, and I will create a final of Firestore. I need to add two fields, Firestore, which is a Firebase, which is a Firebase Firestore.instance, and also a final auth, which is a Firebase auth.instance. So I'll have the instance of both Firebase auth and also Firebase Firestore.instance, so I can use it. And the first method that I will create will be add node to Firebase. This is the first method, and I have to make it asynchronous, so I will use the async keyword and here the await keyword. So what I have to do is to add some data and fields like node, the description, user ID, and also the node ID, and also the time sent. I will store all this information into the Firestore. So I have to create also a model, and inside this I will create a model, and the name of the this model will be node.dart, and I will create a class. The name of node model, and we need 5 fields inside this model, and they will be final string title and also final string description, final string we need final time sent, because we need to keep the time that this node is being set. And the next we need a final string user ID and also final string node ID. So we need all this information, and I will create a constructor for them. I can make a JSON serialization, and we don't need this part. I can just remove it, and also this part, because we don't need these 2 parts. So everything is done, and now we go to the node repository, and here, so what we have to do is to just go to the Firebase and our Firestore. So I go to the Firestore, which I have already created, and inside the collection I will call it nodes and then doc. So I can just put it inside a variable in the name of collection, and now I will make it await collection dot set. So now we have to set the data and the data that we want to set, and before this I have to create an instance of the model that I have and not a node model, and I will call it node model, and it will be equal to node model dot to map. I have to call node model, yeah, and here I have to give value to this model. We have to give value to title, description, and all this information. So we have to use constructor here, and I can call it, okay, the first one will be title, and also it will be description, and also the user ID I can have it, and yeah, this are enough. We need only times the title and also description. The user ID, it will be the auth.current-user.uid. This is the user ID, and also the node ID will be collection.id. And if you ask what is this collection, it is this Firestore.collection nodes.doc, and this ID will be the exact ID of this doc. So we will save it inside this Firestore and inside this field node ID. And the time sent, I have to create here final time sent. It is equal to datetime dot now. We want to keep the time that we sent the message. So everything is done, and now I will say here the node model to map. Yeah, so what we did here, we create an instance of the node model, and when we give all the data, and then we just set the data and use to map, which will add all this data that we have inside this model into the Firestore. So everything is done here, and now we can just use this method into the add node page screen. So I will go here, and inside this save round button, I can first create an instance of node repository, and I will just call the method of add nodes to Firestore. So it needs two properties, title and also description. So what is the title and what is the description? We have two text fields. The first text field for title and the second text field here for this description. I just need to create an unchanged property here, which it has title. I can just call it a value, it is better. So, and also we need an unchanged property here. It has also value. And now I will create two here I need to create two variables, and first I need to change this stateless widget into a stateful widget, and in the state I will create, it's not final, string title, and for default it will be empty. And also I will create another variable and I will call it description. It will be also empty in default, and here in the first text field I will say that the title will be equal to value. So every value that we have inside this text field, it will be added to this title, and also every value that we have inside the second text field will be added to the description variable. Yeah, everything is done. I will just save it, and we have the title and also the description. So now everything is done. Now that we added the logic of adding nodes to the Firebase, we can show these nodes into the home page. So let's go to the home page, and here we can create a body, and I want to show the nodes using the stream builder. So I will create a stream builder. This stream builder has two properties, a builder and also a stream. And a stream is actually the node that I can say the property of a stream we should provide that where did we put the node. So I can just say the Firebase Firestore.instance.collection nodes and then snapshots. So here I will also make an if statement that if the snapshot dot connection state is equal to connection state dot waiting, it means that we haven't get the data still. So in this case I want to just show a const center child of circular progress indicator, and if we have data in the default we just want to return a list without builder. So I will return a list without builder. It has also a context and also index, which we can share the data using it. And here I will say the first I need to get a map of the data that we have. So I will say final node data map, and it will be equal to snapshot dot data dot docs, and then we use this index. So we get all the data by using this index, and then this is my map that I have, and then I have to create an instance of my node model. Once again I will call it node model, and here I need to use the method of from map. So I will get all the data that I saved in the Firestore. I need to get it back, and the map will be node data map dot data. So it is okay. Also, it is better to clarify that this stream builder is the type of query snapshot, and also this snapshot is the type async snapshot, which is the type query snapshot. It is better to clarify all of this. And now we get an error here, and because the error says that the argument type object cannot be assigned to parameter type map string dynamic. So I can just create a cast here. I will say that this map is as map string dynamic, and now there is no error. So we have the node model, and then I need to return it. First I will just return a simple text that I can show you, but later on I will just create a complete widget for it. I need to just say node model.title. First I just show you the title. So we have it here, and when I save the code, you will see that here we will have the data. Also, I forgot to say in the list without builder, we need to say the item count is equal to snapshot.data.docs.length. So how many nodes do we have here? And when I save the code, we should see it. And now I go ahead and add some titles. Yeah, you will see here we have some, but you can't see it, so I just need to change the style. So I will say and text style, the font size will be 20, and also the color will be white. When I run the code, you will see here we have this 3G because we typed it 3 times, and we have it. But I don't want to just show a simple text with a title. I want to show a complete node tile, so I have to create a widget for it. And here, let's go to the widget folder, and here I will create a node tile. Now I will import the material package, and then I will create an stateless widget, and I will call it node tile widget. So here I have to return a container which have a decoration of box decoration, and the color will be for now colors.blue. Later on I will change the color, and we will have a border radius dot circular, and the radius will be 8. So I will put a comma here, and then it should have a child, and the child for this will be a column which we can show all our data that we want. And the first, it will be a title, so I will say it is a node title, and the style will be a text style of, it has a font size of 20 and a color of black. Yeah, it is okay. And after the title, we need to show a timestamp, a date to the user. So I will say for now it is only July 23, 2023. It is okay. I need to put a const here. So now I will create 2 constructors. I need to import this node model, and also I need to show a color, so I will also have a color. Then I can generate constructor for this, and this colors will be color, cannot be const. And also here we have the title, so I will call it node model dot title, and here the date I will just call it node model dot timestamp. It is perfect. Then so we have this node tile widget here. It has a color and a column. We show a title and also a timestamp to the user. So let's go to the home page, and here I will return this node tile widget, and node model we have already here, and the color. So in the common folder I have a file here in the name of colors, and we have all the colors here. So I can just come here and create an instance of my colors, and then colors and index. So it is okay, and when I run the code I should see what happens here. Yeah, I think we should get an error here because it says that timestamp is not a subtype of a string, and the reason is that the date time that we send to the Firestore, when it goes to the Firestore, the type changes into timestamp, and here we cannot show it as a string. So that's why that I need to change the type of it. So in the build method I come here, and first I have to import a package, and the name of the package is Intel package, and using this package I can change the timestamp into a string, which I want to do it. So here I will say a final string date, and it is equal to date format, and the format will be a type of MMM, and this three big letters M will be somehow the month, the July, June, like this, and then we need to show the day, and after that I will show the year, and then I will say the format. The format will be node model dot timesend dot to date. Yeah, it is okay, and then I can just show this date here, and let's run the code and do a hot restart. Yeah, as you can see we have the nodes here. It is completely okay and it's working, but we need to change the UI a little bit. We need to give the padding for it. So I will give it a padding of padding should be from all sides, and I will give it a padding of 8. Let's run and see how it looks. It looks a little bit better, but not still that good. So I should bring this title into the start. So I can go to the column and say that cross-axis alignment needs to be cross-axis alignment dot start, and now it should be better. Yeah, right now it looks better, but I will change it also in the future. But now we can just accept this and continue the video. So now we have all these nodes here and we can see it, and if I go ahead and add another node here, like I will call it, the title will be Flutter, and the description will be Flutter is a great tool. So I will save it, and also you notice that we have a problem here. When we save the node, we should automatically navigate back, and I will also do it. So but now you can see here we have the node here added, the Flutter, and the time will be July 24 and 2023. It is completely working. Now that we have the functionality to add the node and also we can show the nodes, I think it is time to do the next step, and it is that when I click one of these nodes, I go to the node page and I can show all the nodes, I mean all the information like title, description, timestamp, and all of this information to the user. So for this means I need to create a gesture detector. I need to wrap this container with a gesture detector, and on the on-top property I need to make a navigation to the node page screen. So I say navigator. Yeah, it is. So here we have the navigation, and by this code we go to this node page screen, which I have already created, and we have the UI here, and we want to show the title, the date, and also the description here. So for this means first I want to change this stateless widget into a stateful widget, and now I want to create the constructor. Yeah, and now I can show all the data here. Yeah, so here I need to show the title, so I say widget.noteModel.title, and I need to make sure it is not null. And also here I need to show the description, so I will say widget.noteModel.description, and it should not be null as well. And here I need to show the date, but if I say directly noteModel.timestamp, it will be not right because the type timestamp is not a type string. So I need to copy this line of code once again, and I can also use it here. I will go to the build method, and here I will copy it. So I think I can just again turn this to a stateless widget. I don't think that we need a stateful widget. And I can just take this and paste it into the build method. So I can use this date now here, and it should work. So now let's go to the node tile, and I need to initialize this node model here, and the node model will be node model. And now I will save the code and hard restart. Now let's check it out. When I click this, yeah, I'm navigated here, and I can see the title, the timestamp, and also the description. So it is working. And now I also want to add the delete function here. So when I long press on these nodes, I can delete it. I can also do it here in the node tile. So in this gesture detector, we have what on top property, and also we have another property on long press. So when we long press this node tile, what should happen? When this happens, I want to delete this node. So I can go to node repository, and here I can create a function. I will call it delete node on Firestore. And here I can just go to the Firestore.collection. I will call it nodes.doc. So which document should we delete? Each document is a node, and we want to delete the node that is specified. So I can just give it a constructor, a parameter like node ID, because using this node ID we can delete the specific node that we want to delete, and here we want to delete this doc with this node ID. So we go to Firestore.collection nodes.doc, and we want to delete that node. So I can also make it asynchronous and use a wait here. And now I should take it and go to the node tile, and first I have to create node repository instance, and then I will call this method delete node on Firestore, and I have to provide the node ID, and it is the node model that we got. We have the node model and node ID. So I will save that. I have to save here also. And now when I long press on each of these nodes, it will be deleted. You can see here. Yeah, it is working very well. Now that I'm here, I also wanna refactor the code a little bit. In the home page, here we have the stream. So I just take it and go to the node repository, and here I want to create another function, and I call it display nodes, and I will return this. And now I take it and go to the home page. Once again, I need to create an instance of node repository and then use this method. I think it is a better way of doing it, and it will be more organized. So everything is working. I do a hard restart. So most of the steps are done. I can go ahead and create another node. I will call it game, and the description will be I love playing games. And when I save it, once again we see that it's not navigating back, so let's solve it. And when I save the code, so I go to the add node screen, and here when I'm adding the node to the Firestore, I want to do a navigation back. So I say navigator.pop.contest, and now I save the code, and here we have the node. And if I just go ahead and create another node, like I can call it anything, when I save it, you will see that we will navigate back, and it is working very nice. Right now most of the steps are done, and we can add the node, we can delete the node, and also we show the nodes. And when I click it, I can go to the node page screen, and the only step that is waiting for us is the update screen. So I want to add another button here that when I click it, I can update the node. So let's do it. To update the node, I will have to create another screen. So I will come to the features, and here I will have another folder, and I will call it edit node. I can also create a file, again update node.dart, and I will import the material package and create an stateful widget, and I will call it edit node screen. So as the edit node screen is really the same like add node screen, I will just copy all the stuff that we have here, and I don't need to write it again. So I will copy all this stuff from scaffold. I don't cut it, I just copy, sorry. And here I will paste it, and of course we have to do some stuff to make it work. First I will create two variables here, and I will call it string title, which initially will be empty, and also I will have another variable, I will call it description, because we need to update these two titles and descriptions. So I will have these two variables, and I have to import some of this stuff, and also I have to import the round button and node repository. So I will delete this one. So I think everything will be okay now. So we have two variables, title and description. Also we have to we need to have access to node ID. So I create a parameter here. I need to create a node ID, which it will be a type of string, so I don't need to mention it. And here I need to make a constructor and node ID. So now what we have to do is, when we are on one of these node pages, when I click a button here, I need to be navigated to this update screen, to this update node screen. So first I will have to create these two buttons here, one for updating, and also I will create another button that I can navigate back. So let's create a widget, which a widget of an icon button. So I will come to the widgets, and here I will create a custom button, and I will import the material package and create an stateless widget, and I will call it a custom button. So here I can just return a container, and it has decoration of type box decoration. I need to give it a color, and for now it will be gray, and also border radius. So once again I give it a border radius of 8 and radius dot circular and a radius of 8. I think it is very good. So now it is better to call it const, and the child of this container will be an icon button. It has an unpressed and also icon. So now I have to create a constructor for it because we don't want to give it a value here, so I can call it final void callback, and I will call it unpressed. And also I have to create another one, and it is a type icon data, and I will call it icon data. So now I will have to generate constructor for it, and the unpressed will be here, and we want to know what should happen when we press this icon, and also here I will give it the icon, and also I will change the color of the icon to white. Now let's save the code, and now I can use this custom button inside my my node page screen. So let's go to the node page screen, and here inside this column I wanna create this custom button, and it has an unpressed and also icon data. So the first custom button will be a button for navigating back, so I will just use this array back is, and in this button we want to perform the functionality for navigating back. And also I will create another custom button, and this one will be for editing the node, and yeah, so I can just write it edit icons.edit. So now let's save the code and see how it looks. Yeah, we got a problem because we don't want them to look like this. I need to put it inside a row, so I will just cut this too, and first I will create a row here, and inside this row I will have these two icon buttons, and the main axis alignment for this will be main axis alignment dot space between. It will look nice. Yeah, here it is. And now you can also give it padding because it should have some distance from the bottom and also from the top, so I can wrap it with a padding. Only from top 10 and also from bottom it will be 15, so it will look better right now. So what should happen when we click these buttons? When we click this button, it's really easy. We just want to navigate back, so let's implement it. I just say navigator.pop. But when we click this button, we want to navigate to the edit node screen, so let's also implement this one. Yeah, I just create this navigation. So now I need to provide this node ID, and we have access to this node model here. I just need to take this node model dot node ID. Yeah, it is working well. I just need to make sure it is not null. Now I will refactor the code and save it. So now that everything is done, let's see how it's working. So when I click this button, you will see that we'll navigate back, but when I click this button, we will be navigated to this page, which is a page that we can update our node. So let's implement the functionality that how can we update the node. So I will go to the node repository. First, let's go to the update node screen. This edit node. I need to call this one edit node screen so that I don't get it mistaken. I will say edit node screen, right? So now in this edit node screen, when we press this save button here, I need to update the node. So let's go to the node repository, and here I will create another function for it, and I will call this function edit node on Firestore. So I can also call it await and make this function asynchronous. And I go to the Firestore, to the collection of nodes, and then I go to the doc of node ID, and then I need to delete this node. So what we are actually doing is we go to the Firestore, to the collection of nodes, and we want to delete that document according to this node ID, which we will get from parameter. So we can delete, it is really the same like deleting the node, and you can delete or update the exact node that you want to do it. So in this parameter, I can have title, description, and also the node ID, because we update the node according to this node ID. So now, yeah, and I did wrong because we don't want to delete, we actually want to update. So here we want to update two fields, and the first one is title, which we want to be a title, and also the second one is description, and it will be description. Yeah, it is okay. I just saved the code, and now I need to use this method inside my edit node screen. So I came here, and once again, like always, I need to create a node repository, and here I will call this method, and we need to provide the parameters. We have description, the title, and also the node ID. So we have already these two variables, title and description, and we have in the unchanged, yeah, as I said in the add node screen, we have the unchanged, we have the variables, and when we write something inside this text fields, it will be added to these variables. So I just need here to write description, and also here the title, and the node ID, yeah, we have the node ID here. So I just write it widget dot node ID. So everything is done. I can also put a const here. Now let's hard restart the code and see how it's working. So I clicked this one, game. So when I click this button, I will be navigated to this page, which is update the screen page. In the title, I can change the game into like Flutter, and also in the description, I can write Flutter is really great. So right now when I save, I also should add the navigate back. So when we save the code, when we save the node, I also need to navigate back. So I will say navigator.pop, and I will save it. So when I save this one, yeah, you see that here it changes to Flutter, and also Flutter is really great. Still, we have a problem that when I edit the node, you will see that we will navigate back and it doesn't change as soon as that we edit the node. So I think it will look better that when I edit the node, we should be navigated to this home page screen, not in the node page. So instead of navigating back, I can navigate to the home page screen. Yeah, and now I will save the code and put comma here. And now once again I will update this G, and when I write here science, and in the description I will write science is very interesting. So when I save it, yeah, we will be navigated to this home page screen, and it is completely changed. So here science, and science is very interesting. It's perfectly working great. So I will put a const here, and we did it. So right now the functionality is complete. Our node app is doing everything. I can add the node, and also I can see the nodes here, and when I click it, I will be navigated to node page, and I can edit the node, and also I can delete the node by long pressing the node. So everything is working well, and at the end I just need to do some UI stuff because our nodes are not looking very nice right now. So I need to just make some changes to these nodes to that it can look better, and it will be better. Let's start by changing the way that we are listing our nodes. So right now we are using a list.builder, and I think it's not a good way of listing these nodes. So instead of that, we can use a package called Flutter Staggered Gird view, and using this package it will be very nice that we can show all our nodes. And let's go to the home page, and here right now we are using a list.builder, but I'm gonna delete it. So I will cut this part that I'm gonna need later on and delete this part, and instead I can just go ahead and import the package Staggered Gird view, and now I can use a class called masonry grid view.count, and here you should provide this data, and cross axis count will be equal to 2, and this item builder which will be this, and I can now paste all the data that I copied, and also I have to provide the item count. The item count will be equal to snapshot.data.docs.length. It shows how many nodes do we have here, and also I can provide some other information like main axis spacing. I will use 3, and also the cross axis spacing, which is equal to 3 again. And now I will save the code, and let's see how it looks like. And right now you will see that it looks really great, and it can be looks like this. And if I go ahead and add some more nodes like Flutter, and now when I save this, you will see that it looks like this, and I think it's much better than listing in a list.builder. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and we created this node app completely from scratch. And right now we can add the node, we can see these nodes and click it, and we have the full node, and we can update this node, and also we can delete this node just by long pressing it. So I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial, and see you later.